becoming foster parents.
I've come to realize they did foster care for the money. They found that the therapeutic foster children would bring more income.
The state pays Kerr and McDonald approximately $3,000 a month to care for their 2 adopted children who have special needs. Jaliek's parents are still collecting money on his behalf, even though he's disappeared. Their income from adopting 2 special needs children alone is $36,000 a year. A month into their investigation, authorities contact Jaliek's birth mother, who now lives in Florida.
Jaliek's mother stepped forward and gave us her DNA, which is more cooperation than we got from Stephen and Jocelyn in this case. I've never met such a pair of parents that refused to cooperate with law enforcement.
By January 2008, investigators focused their attention on Stephen Kerr, the last known witness to see Jaliek alive. That, along with his refusal to cooperate, caused police to name him a person of interest in the case. But without any further leads or any new evidence, authorities have no actual suspects. The case is going nowhere. That same month, media outlets in the Washington County area receive a computer-printed anonymous letter claiming that Jaliek is alive.
It also mentioned the name of one of his cats that he liked. Some details that were really only known to Jaliek and his close, immediate family.
After studying the letter, police seize a computer from Stephen Kerr's parents' home. They want to examine any possible links between him and the mysterious letter. But after searching the computer, authorities are unable to determine whether the missing boy's father wrote it. As police continue their search for Jaliek, Stephen Kerr and Jocelyn McDonald move out of state with their 4 other children. They do not contact authorities for updates on the case of their missing son. The more Jaliek's parents try to avoid further contact with authorities, the more police grow interested in their possible involvement in the boy's disappearance. Although his father claims that Jaliek may have run away with a duffel bag, it's soon located without him.
We found the duffel bag and his favorite stuffed animal stashed in the garage at 11 Hill Street.
This is the address of Stephen Kerr's parents' house, the same house Jaliek supposedly ran away from after leaving a goodbye note. But professional caregiver Elaine Person says the note may not mean what the father says it does. While Jaliek stayed at her house in the days before his disappearance, one of his assignments from Stephen was to write letters of apology to the people at his home school.
That's one of his letters of apology. That's not a runaway note. But Stephen very conveniently used it as a runaway note.
Still, all the police have is circumstantial evidence about Jaliek's disappearance.
There's not one spatter of blood that we found, not one hair follicle or anything like that that could lead us to say there was foul play.
5 months after Jaliek goes missing, police reveal something that contradicts the details of Stephen Kerr's earlier statement. They release video surveillance footage from a bank on Main Street in Greenwich, New York, captured during the time frame when Jaliek disappeared. The tape reveals an intriguing image. Several hours after Stephen Kerr says he and Jaliek arrived at his parents' home and settled in for the night, a gold van matching the one driven by Kerr heads down Main Street at 12:16 a.m.
We can't prove that it was the van belonged to Stephen. The odds are of a van, the same make, model, and the same color being in the village of Greenwich at that time of night was like nil and none. It had to be Stephen's van.
Stephen Kerr refuses to comment on the matter. But by now, Jaliek's grandmother, Barbara Reilly, is frustrated with the lack of cooperation police are getting from Kerr and her own daughter. So she decides to take the law into her own hands. After the family abandoned their Washington County cabin and moved to Vermont, Barbara Reilly travels to Jaliek's former home and enters the 2-room shack to do some fact-finding of her own.
Took my flashlight and I walked up to where Jaliek's little area was. There was a pile of clothes. And the second thing down caught my flashlight.
All along, police have been relying on Stephen Kerr's description of what Jaliek had been wearing when he was last seen. But Barbara Reilly's discovery says otherwise.
I took it out and I unfolded it, and it was the yellow fleece. And I can't tell you how I felt.
There is no movement in the case for weeks. Then, in August 2008, police get a new lead in the case. A surveillance video shows a boy who appears to be Jaliek exiting a movie theater near Albany, New York. Authorities locate the boy, but he insists he is not Jaliek.
We go back through the background on the kid and can verify through birth records and so on and so forth that they're definitely not Jaliek.
The resemblance is so uncanny that this boy is stopped over and over again.
At one point, he was given a piece of paper to carry and to present to law enforcement stating that I am not Jaliek.
Since then, there are few leads in the case.
Cold case matters are generally solved on changes in relationships or changes in technology. And hopefully down the road, somebody will say something that sheds a different light on what happened to Jaliek.
Now, what else are you going to do, Jaliek?
The lead.
Yep.
The lead to the flag.
Perhaps Jaliek did run away. Investigators continue to look for him.
Nothing goes unturned. I plead with the public, no matter how minute they may think it is, we'd like to hear about it.
And never the inducted for all.
Great job.
Some who know Jaliek fear the worst.
It's hard. I can't give him a hug. I can't sit down and talk with him. I can't say, you know, I love you to him.
Perhaps Jaliek is alive and well, living independently, or with another family. That's our hope. This is a kid who had the deck stacked against him since birth. As tough as Jaliek's life was, it's tougher to comprehend that someone may have harmed this child but refuses to come forward. Jaliek is one of our missing, and we want to find him. Help us learn what happened to Jaliek Rainwalker. Please call the number on the screen or go to our website, tv1.tv, for more information. Jaliek Rainwalker and Monica Bowie don't appear to have very much in common. Jaliek is a young boy who may have run away or been pushed away. Monica is a young woman who may have walked into trouble. Jaliek and Monica are missing, and we need to find them. I'm Essie Patha Merkerson. Until next time, be safe and keep an eye out.